So I decided to frame lesson one into two different parts, right? Normally we figure out what the simple shapes are, and then we figure out what the proportions need to be for those simple shapes. Usually I put them all into one video, and that kind of confuses some of you guys, so I'm actually going to split them up, right? First, in this part, we need to figure out what our simple shapes are going to be before we figure out how big they are relative to each other in our drawing. Okay, so here I have the reference image, and the first major shape that stands out is this large triangle in the center, right? Notice here that my simple shape isn't exact, right? It doesn't have to be super pretty. It doesn't have to fit exactly what the shape looks like on the reference. I just need to know that there's a very large triangle in the middle. Okay, next I'm going to use a different color here, an orange, oh, maybe not an orange, maybe a blue. So in that center large shape, there's another major shape making up that mountain, and it's this triangle here. Okay, I'm following the line that goes across the top until it hits this bottom part right here, and then I see the corner, which is right here, right? So that's another triangle. Then we have the floor, right? The floor we would split up into three parts, right? We have the floor that the mountain is actually sitting on top of, or we have a hill that is in front of the mountain. So I'm going to use pink, right? Bright pink, to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's really no simple shape with a name that can describe this. It just divides this whole floor area, the ground, into two parts. So you have this hill in the front, right? See this hill in the front, and then we actually have two more shapes in the background that go behind where the mountain is, right? So this would be this shape here. Okay, part of it gets cut off here, so I'm actually going to erase. Oops, sorry, can't erase it, but it goes behind it, so when you take your eraser, you don't actually have to add that line going through there, right? And then there's another part back here. This part is also sitting behind the mountain itself. Okay, so those are the main important shapes for the foreground, right? Or sorry, not the foreground, but everything that's on the floor, right? If you look at the sky, there's mostly just clouds, right? So I'm going to use green for the clouds, right? We want to actually think about drawing the clouds. Don't just think, oh, it's the sky, I don't have to do it, right? We're copying the reference. Okay, so here we have this one oval, right? Notice that my oval isn't following the exact every little detail of the cloud here. We just want the general shape, and then we have another oval, and on the right side we have another oval, and then we have another oval on the left side. Okay, we have a half oval on this corner right here, and then the bottom is pretty much just one big cloud. Okay, so this, we just add a line here, but the whole shape is actually this right here. Okay, so here we have another oval on the right side and another oval on the right side as well. Okay, so those are pretty much the simple shapes. Yes, we have a bunch of things like the trees here, but those are all something that you can consider to be details, right? Because they aren't the major structures. You can kind of compare them to, you can ask me oh, how come we did the clouds, but we're not doing these trees? I mean, you can do these trees if you want, right? They are circles or ovals, but in my opinion, they're so abstract that I don't really need to pay attention to them. I just need to know, okay, there's trees here, and there's trees here, and there's trees here, right? But I'm always just going to look back at my reference for that type of thing.